What's up, guys and girls? Jiwon here, and we have reached the conclusion, the season finale of Vampirina Teenage Vampire. Who would have thought I would actually end up reviewing the entire season? I know I didn't, because that's not what I said in the series premiere review. So with all that, will the show be able to stick the landing in this finale? Well, let's begin the review and find out.
Alright then. On with the show.
The episode starts off with V and Sophie wondering where's Eli. V then suspects she might know something, but she quickly changes the subject by going over to the clothes to ask her what does she want to wear. V is looking for what she wants to wear until she sees Brittany. Brittany tells V that she is there to support her, but V and Sophie know she is lying. Brittany even laughs on what she just said. She is really there to see Miley, but V tells her they haven't seen her, so she decides to leave. As she is leaving, she bumps into a lady and doesn't apologize for it. This lady tells her assistant on what wig she wants to wear for the concert tonight. V and Sophie get all excited and start stuttering by realizing this lady is in fact who makes her first on-screen appearance. Millie tells them that this is her stage persona, but in her downtime, she is a regular person named Emily Eisenberg. Sophie gazes into her eyes by worshipping her alter ego. This makes Miley leave, but
not because of that, but also not because of that.
Millie tells V that she looks forward to V's performance tonight. Now, Millie definitely had the Miley and Hannah Montana vibes. She's going through her own best of both worlds. I can even see Millie getting her own TV show. Granted, I know lots of people would call it a Hannah Montana ripoff, but I think based on what you learned on Millie throughout this episode and the season, there's enough information to differentiate the two characters. In fact, I could see Millie and Hannah knowing each other, but they don't know about their alter egos. Speaking of alter egos, unlike Miley, Emily is not good at keeping her identity a secret. Even when V and Sophie find out that she was Millie, she didn't have to give out all that information. But despite that, I'll let her slide. With Millie Eyelash finally showing up, it gives me more hope for at least a Hannah Montana reference, cause remember, Miley revealed her secret to the world. Getting back to the episode, Lucy returns to the clock tower to see Eli trying to use his Van Helsing locator to escape, but it didn't work. Eli tells Lucy that Van Helsing's built this mirror and other mirrors to contain bad supernatural creatures like Lucy himself. He is a conflict vampire, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be coming back to this. Lucy replies to his comment by saying,
"That's me. Want an autograph?"
Lucy starts going through Eli's vampire book and tells him that it has a lot of Van Helsing secrets and even rips a page out of it. This upsets Eli, but that's not the true thing he should be upset about. What he should be upset about is that him and V are gonna drain all the energy from the crowd, and with all that conflict power, he will put lots of Van Helsings in mirror prisons. Lucy also reminds him he has the bloodstone, and so he shouldn't bother on thinking about escaping. In the school hallway, Brittany's taking out posters as she is angry that Millie and her assistants didn't pick her, which I do agree with, since y'all know she is the better singer. Demi tells her she is a lot. Mariah then shows up asking Brittany where's Eli since he didn't show up for breakfast. Demi has to leave quick, so she doesn't recognize him. Brittany tells her to ask V, and so she will, but her face is focused on Demi as he looks familiar, but she couldn't put it together. Lucy finds V and they power boost each other to stop the fritzing. Lucy goes on to tell her how a vampire can stay strong even when vampires aren't around other vampires. He shows her by causing conflict between Brittany and Dean. V sees the green energy and wanted to know what that is. Lucy tells her what it is, and he sucks it not only into himself but V as well, and it makes her flabbergasted. Lucy tells her if they become more powerful, they wouldn't need to hide anymore, with V saying it's all she's ever wanted. V storms off and she runs into Sophie. Sophie asks her if she's okay, but V storms off away from her saying it's nothing, everything's fine. Sophie sees Lucy smiling and goes after him as he walks away. Sophie tells him he's messing with her best friend's head. Lucy's eyes light up and Sophie finds out he's a vampire, switching between the hallway and the mirror jail, ending up with Eli. Constantine has the power of hypnosis. He froze her, then then moved her. The same type of power Rufus from Gen V has, except it's a superpower and not a supernatural power. I was thinking maybe at first he did super speed, but I didn't hear no speed effect, and Sophie's lit up too, squashing that. Now with Sophie stuck in the mirror with Eli, they both now have to figure out a way to get out. They end up summoning Demi, and he explains everything. Demi is then let free so he can warn V. My thing is, how was he able to leave the mirror? Once he got summoned, he should have been trapped in there as well. Granted, the mirror, according to Eli, it traps bad supernatural creatures, but I think it traps all supernatural creatures, whether you're good or bad. Or maybe it pertains to that specific mirror. Lucy shows up to tell him he's gonna lock Sophie and Eli in there forever, and before he can crush the bloodstone, Demi gets it before that happens, and he puts it in the slot to let Sophie and Eli out. Lucy tries to grab the stone, but Eli kicks him away from it, and then the two get into a fight. Now the fighting choreography was quite well put together. I like the usage of Lucy using its powers and showing how Eli was able to keep up with them. I like the usage of the pole and shield and the clock tower gears being used. Plus, I'm sure John and Sean did most of their own stunts to this, and they did a good job. Eli and Lucy catch their breath and trash talk each other, and when they're about to fight again, V finally shows up. Why is she now showing up? Well, earlier when Demi was summoned, V chased after him using her super speed. What she didn't notice when she ran off was Mariah was there, finally knowing that V was a vampire. I'm guessing she ran around the campus looking for him. She arrives in the clock tower and tells them both how she found them. She continues to talk and ends up siding with Lucy because it's a path she has to take. Vampires always protect other vampires, and Lucifer is much stronger than she is, in which Lucy gives her a sided remark of,
"Oh, V, you noticed?"
V has figured out his plan on how they're going to create chaos at the concert and cause a lot of conflict, which then they are able to become a powerful duo. Eli can't let V do this, but she pushes him back. She thanks him for showing her what kind of vampire she will never be, and uses the Vancranium on herself and him. This finally pays off what was set up in episode 9. It also appeared in episode 15 during the whole V isn't scared of pencils anymore scene. With V using the Vancranium on herself and Lucy before it could kill them, Eli puts his Vancranium mask on V while Sophie gets rid of it. With it gone, Eli picks up a passed out Lucifer and throws him back into the mirror. Demi grabs the bloodstone from the slot, trapping him in the mirror once again. Sophie and Eli then put a cover on top of the mirror, knowing they are glad it's over. Eli then sees Mariah about to attack V, but she doesn't because what they grew up on, that all vampires were evil, were not true. So Mariah and V call a truce. With that truce, Mariah will not only keep V's secret, but will also tell her mother to stand down and not show up. She leaves, but before she does recognize Demi. With that, 3 things I want to bring up. A, when Sophie said, "I'm done looking at this thing," I thought she was gonna smash the mirror, and it wouldn't make sense to do so. There would be no way out for Lucifer and the other monsters in there to escape. B, I would have slightly altered Mariah's part in this scene. Instead of her on her feet, she is on one knee, left hand on the ground, and right hand in the air with the knife about to stab her. I think Mariah being there much closer would make it feel much more personal. The same scene of Eli pleading to Mariah not to kill V that plays out. But that is just me. Basically, this is what I suggested in my episode 3 review, that Eli didn't want to hurt V. But after everything that has played out this season, I'm not mad at Eli finding out early anymore. C, how come they didn't reference Eli or Mariah's dad? The last time he got mentioned was in the series premiere. So hopefully in season 2, he shows up along with his returning wife. After Mariah leaves the Boo gang, V almost faints, and with Demi telling her that the concert is getting ready to start, V has to go out there even if she is weak, and knowing she'll definitely be going back to Transylvania now that Lucifer is locked back up. It's nighttime. Brittany tells Millie, without knowing that it is her, that she is ready to since V has not shown up. But V does, which makes Brittany agitated, and so she tells her to break a leg. V wonders, is she wishing her good luck, or was that a threat? Brittany says,
"A lady never tells."
with her smiling and winking at V, you would assume it's obviously she's wishing her good luck, but I wouldn't trust that. I think it could legitimately be both. Even if Brittany is not as scary as Jade, she has different ways of being scary. V has one last talk with Millie, and the conversation ends with V saying this is her dream. dream, to which Millie tells her to make it a reality. They hug and V goes out there to perform. So V gets on stage and starts singing. She's killing the singing, and as she's killing it, positive energy starts coming from the crowd, and V takes all that energy and puts it into herself. However, this makes V go, the name of the episode, full vampire.
Roll credits.
With the crowd being silent, the gang thinks she is now exposed to secrets, but V stops flying and goes back into singing with the crowd cheering her. After the song performance is over, Millie comes onto the stage and from the help of Sophie tells the crowd V's stage name is Vampirina. Now you're wondering, how exactly are they going to work it out this time when she exposed her secret? Last time it was magician. This time, ladies and gentlemen, it's stagecraft. Millie got herself and the crowd thinking she was on some wires when she started flying. Good job, writers. You know what? No. Not just good job, writers. Let me give you a round of applause. Good job, writers. You really did it. I didn't think you would do it. I didn't think you would be able to find a workaround. Millie calls V her protege, and that this won't be the last time they will be on stage together. Brittany, who was in the crowd, realizes that the costume lady is Millie, and it makes you think maybe that's why Millie and her assistants didn't choose her, despite being the better singer. She's rude. This makes Brittany think maybe she should be more nice to the people. Dean says,
You think?
Nah, I'm perfect just the way I am.
This is why I love Brittany so much. This entire season, you will see a change, but by the end, she hasn't changed. That's good character development. You know who that reminds me of? John Constantine, who changed, but also didn't change on the show.
Oh, people can change and not change at the same time.
I really gotta give another round of applause, this time to Faith. Good job, Faith. Good job. I know I said I didn't want Brittany to find out till at least season 2, but I don't want to see her find out until the final season. Whether that be season 3, what? Season 4, what? Season 5, what? Season 6, what? Whatever. Or specifically the series finale. I just don't want the V and Brittany frenemy dynamic to go away. Anyway, V gets off the stage and is greeted by the gang, and they are so proud of her. V tells them because of the love from the crowd, she is more powerful and then some. With that, she doesn't have to leave. She's not going anywhere. They all jump with excitement. But with things settling down, Eli wants to have a talk with V and finally confessed his feelings for her. He's been wanting to tell her, but Lucifer showed up. Despite blushing and having googly eyes over him, V tells Eli that she was never, ever going to choose him. And V also tells him that
I like weird, remember?
I like weird too.
And so with that, they put their hands together and are about to kiss until they are blasted away from each other in confusion, with V asking what just happened. Well, I'm about to tell you what just happened. This is going to be the story for season 2, and that is they're going to find out that Van Helsing and a Transylvania vampire can't be together. They're going to find that out from their books, from Mariah, Eli's parents, V's parents, and so they're going to have to, find a way to overcome this. I wouldn't be surprised this war between the two groups came from that. A vampire and a Van Helsing long ago were once in love. Then they started to hate each other. Then eventually started fighting, and then the war happened. But I could be wrong. I guess I'll see in due time. The episode ends with Demi entering the attic, wanting to know Lucifer's hair routine since he's been talking about his hair for the past 2 episodes. But he finds the piece of paper Lucy ripped out of the book earlier, and on the paper, it tells you how to open the mirror of prisons. Demi removes the cover off the mirror to see Lucy and the other creatures are gone. He also sees some graffiti on the wall left by Lucy that says they are coming. There was still one monster in there. This makes Demi sarcastically say that everything will be fine, and it fades to black. With this episode and the rest of the season, is this show worth the watch? If you ask me, I say yes. I like you get to see the characters grow and change over the course of the season. I still stand by not buying the sisterly bond between V and Sophie just yet. I did not expect the show to be as good as it was. I'll even go as far as to say that I could have seen this show in the late peak Disney era. And what I mean by that is around 2010, around good like Charlie. Because after that show, I was done with Disney and I didn't come back until Raven's Home. I will give this show and Wizards Beyond over the peak Disney shows is that they have story over them. Now sure, the peak Disney shows had continuity, but not an overarching story. Like almost every episode is important. If you missed one episode, you will miss out on some story details. Raven's Home tried to do this as well, but failed at it. Specifically during seasons 5 and 6, the whole overarching story was about getting Victor healthy, but they never finished it. With Alice in the Palace canceled, it makes me angry that it didn't get finished. Moving on from that, I said I'll come back to it, and that is when Eli said that Lucian is a conflict vampire. In my Will I Review Wizards video, I said this. I've seen some people online saying with this crossover, Vampirina might change the vampire lore in Wizards. With this show and them introducing conflict vampires, the lore is not broken. It doesn't mess up the vampire lore from Wizards. Yet. It doesn't mess up the lore from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yet. So here's how you look at it. If you were born in Transylvania, you are a conflict vampire. But if you were born on Earth, the wizard world, or anywhere else, you are the traditional vampire. This also means both versions of vampires may or may not have the same weaknesses like Ash and Dust, and power scaling in how strong or weak they are. Boom! There you go. There was a reason I kept comparing this show's lore to Wizards. It's because I wanted the DSU universe to have some continuity. Which I know, it's hard to do. But remember, if V reveals her vampire identity to the world, don't you think that's gonna have some ramifications for future DSU shows? I rest my case. Last thing I want to talk about before the outro is I'm going to boost up my crossover grade. For the crossover itself, it's going from a 7.9 to an 8.5 out of 10. The post crossover grade, at least for Vampirina's side, I gave was a 4 out of 10. But with the last 2 episodes and whatever season 2 will bring is now a 10 out of 10. I haven't seen a crossover have this much significance since The Flash and Arrow, which was set up Legends of Tomorrow. If Billy hadn't weakened the mirror, none of this would be happening. I bet you if V meets Billy again, she'll blame her, but it would be said in a funny way, cause she's not gonna truly blame her, so mostly blame it on Lucy. But that's all I gotta say about that. Going into season 2, Vampirina should not have to worry about her powers fritzing for a while, maybe the entire school year. The only reason her powers should fritz during the season in a non-natural way is if the monsters or humans do something to her, which makes her lose her powers for an unknown specific amount of time before it fixes itself. I also expect season 2 to have second in each title, like second Halloween, second villain, like how first was in each title for season 1, to show you the Boo Gang is in their sophomore year. With that, this is my ranking for all the music during the season, Slay being the best, and this is my ranking for all the episodes for this season. In the intro, I asked the question, will the show be able to stick the landing in this finale? Well, it's a simple yes. For that, my grade is a 9 out of 10, and my grade for season 1 as a whole is an 8.9 out of 10. But with that being said, get your fingers up and say it with me. Season 1 slayed. Bye.